Hey everybody, good afternoon. I thought I'd walk you through in this video, instead of trying to show you the pretty scenery and the joy of flying, talk about something I kind of consider a mistake I made. This is on a trip a few weeks ago, a little bit before July 4th. I was up on a trip to see a family. We had a family reunion at Lake Texoma, and of course, like a paramaniac, I take my motor and my wing with me everywhere I can, and you see it on the back of my pickup there. And I got Adam off in the over in the distance behind me. I also saw Sean Hayden, I think it is. I think he teaches out of this field. This is Eaker Field in Durant, Oklahoma, and I knew of Sean just from Facebook and kind of the internet, So I'd got in touch with him and told him I was going to be there. He said, "Hey, come on out and fly." And I arrived a little bit late this particular day. You see me getting my wing laid out, and Sean had just taken off as I was driving up, but Adam was over there getting ready. You can see me getting my lines up, and the mistake is really not anything I did flying. It's kind of what I didn't do, as Adam had a little bit of trouble and I was helping him out there. So you can see I'm kind of getting some friction knots out of my line. It was a fairly windy day. Had a couple of friction knots. That's one of the bad things about this, the Colorado. I mean, I love my McNamara Colorado, but the unsheathed upper lines are occasionally you get those friction knots. All right, so we'll get to the main point of the video that I wanted to convey. You notice in the background, Adam pulled the wing up. He was facing it, so that's a reverse launch. Wing gets a little bit squirrely on him, and he aborts. So no big deal, right? Well, I thought I'd come over just to be free. I'd talked to him earlier. I'm the new guy, just showing up, first time flying here with him, and just wanted to be helpful. And I got the sense he was a relatively new pilot. And if you see there, I put the red arrow. An A-line has gotten around his prop and kind of tightened up on the cage and bent the cage a little bit. I did not notice that, and that's really the thing I kind of disappointed in myself. I was so focused on helping him with the wing and telling him to not worry. I didn't want him to unbuckle and get everything else back out. It was kind of a warm day. This was, late June in Oklahoma, and I remember those times when you're struggling. Again, I thought he was a relatively new pilot, so I was trying to be super helpful here. And I was with the wing, but I don't know. I should have paid a lot more attention, and we should have had a closer look at the A line. Here, look at that. I even got the line off of the prop. It had wrapped around the prop once or twice. I helped, yeah, 2 wraps there. It looks like that's probably what tightened it up and sucked in the cage. You can see glimpses of the bent cage there, but I did not notice that. So that's really what I wanted to convey. It's a case of I don't know. I guess I wasn't in a hurry to get in the air, but I think we both should have stopped and taken a little more stock of what had just happened. We should have been inspecting that A-line a lot better than I did, and I should have noticed his cage. And then I just focused on helping get the wing laid out and get back to business where I could get launched. That's the main thing I wanted to point out. Here you see the evening went well. Adam didn't have any major issues that night. He went ahead and flew. He didn't notice it either. You see him, he decided to do a forward after that, and he pulls the wing up, and a little bit of swirling of the winds, but he manages it and gets into the air. And I'm going to be not too far behind him. I pull the wing up. I went for a reverse launch, so you see me turn, and I had to do a little bit of side step to the right, but get under the wing and get her launched, and had a good evening of flying. So I'll just finish up, show you a few short clips of the flight. Nothing super exciting on this one, but hey, I got over by Lake Texoma. The water was up quite a bit. The lake level's quite high, and so this is right around off in the other side of the water is, what is that? Lakeside is the Corps of Engineers campground that's right over there. And I'm going to turn around. I didn't want to get out over the water where I couldn't glide back to the open fields that are behind me. Did a little bit of cruising with Adam and Sean off to my right there. It was a great evening, guys. Thanks for letting me come out and join you. I really appreciate it. Here's one of them. I'm not sure if that's Sean or Adam, doing a little bit of turning and burning, I guess. And so I got a little bit of low flying in. It was kind of a spicy evening. The winds were not super low. Definitely wasn't butter air, but it's always good to get out of flight. So here's me and Adam, I think, headed back to the airport. Going to come in for a landing here. And I believe Sean was not too far behind. He's on final approach there. He's going to come in and land. I think he ended up doing a quick land and took off again. He got in a little bit more air time. We all landed a little bit early, I guess, especially early for me in the evening. Usually I go eat up as much of the twilight as I can, go 30 minutes past with my strobe. But yeah, here's Sean's second landing, second approach. But again, back to the main point that I wanted to get across in the video, my mistake was I just not noticing the potential for damage to that A-line and the damage to Adam's cage. You know, it's something that I'm pretty convinced that every time I've ever had a line get into the prop, I'm always taking my motor off and looking at it carefully and taking a little more time. But what I'm disappointed in is when it happened to somebody else, I think a relative new guy. I was probably more of a hindrance in that I was helping with the wing, but that was effectively, in a way, hurrying him up and unintentionally discouraging him and me from really having a close inspection of that line and noticing the cage. So, you know, kind of an unsafe thing. So, always want to help out the folks and be helpful, but really need to pay attention. And if a line gets into the prop, you should pay a little more attention than I did and we did in this particular time. So everybody fly safe and have a good one.